Let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are. And you and me will live in peace. Well, I don't know what anything is for unless I listen to that still small voice telling me this simple truth, that everything is for my good. Let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me. You can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are. And you and me will live in peace. I'm not this body that you see. I am as God created me. We are all one family, and it's possible to live in peace. So let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are. And you and me will live in peace. Kumbaya. Well, hey, everybody. Let me get a drink of water. Hold on. Goodness. Well, here I am, permanently moved to Gloryland. It's what I call my property here in Vermont. 4.5 acres. In a little rural village. I have some neighbors, but we're all surrounded by lots of trees and land and stuff. And it feels lovely here. It's quiet, except for the road passing by. Cars pass by. But it's beautiful, and I feel so happy and grateful and thankful to be here. However, it's not really a however, it's just, let me share a little bit of what's been going on to get here. Well, you know, as you've been hanging out with me over the past few months since Glen passed, you've seen me sort of take it step by step and, pack things in my car and in my friends' cars, and we've been moving stuff up here slowly but surely ever since March. And this past weekend, I went to Brooklyn for the last time, closed out my apartment where Glenn and I spent 20 years together, surrounded by all this stuff you see. Posters and paintings and more paintings and more paintings and more paintings, and they're everywhere. Temple dogs. I don't know if you see the little temple dogs. These were Glenn loved temple dogs. Let's see, they're so cute, right? Oh, he's got a big collection. So, you know, slowly but surely over the last few months, bringing all this stuff, tons of books. Oh gosh, I'm not going to show you because it's so disheveled around here. It's boxes and boxes of stuff that I've got to do something with. Because as much as I really do love the space in my mobile home here, our apartment had really high ceilings, and we had all kinds of places to put bookshelves and paintings and such, and I don't have that here. The ceilings are very low. Anyway, but just the emotional quality of finalizing and packing up and leaving that apartment of 20 years where, you know, Glenn and I really spent our whole relationship together, like in a tiny little one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, just together all the time. We were such companions. We were so close. And you all saw that in us, and it was such a blessing. But that's not what is occurring right now, right here, in the present. And even though Glenn and I had planned to move to this land together this summer, we had already planned to move this summer, I'm doing it by myself, and I don't know how any of it is going to unfold. As I was sharing earlier in Anne's Freedom Practice Sangha, I know that I'm called to be here on this land to create some sort of what I'm calling a safe haven. That's why I call this place Glory Land, for myself, for my brothers and sisters, and to learn how to live close to the land as closely as possible. I want to learn how to grow food, and I want to build a nice bigger place up here on the hills so that we can all come together here and do things together, do spiritual practices, and learn how to do things that our grandparents and great grandparents knew how to do, like grow, like I said, grow food and I don't know, make things, and learn how to be a little more, I guess, self-sufficient, self-sustainable, and to really build a community of love around this place. So as we're, as this is unfolding, because this is what's happening right now, in my present, right here, right now, without Glenn, I'm completely surrendered to God. To God and all of its vastness, that is channeled through me, channeled through you. And as we were talking in Freedom Practice Sangha today, even our fears are part of that. Even my fears, my frustrations. It's just time for me to embrace it all. and move forward and see how it unfolds. So, I'm bringing all my tears, all my frustrations, all my joy. Because it's not just sadness, it's so much joy. I've got my kitties. They're sitting here at my feet. I love them, my little babies. I've got lots of friends around here. My friends in New York have been so kind and raised money for me, and I still don't have water yet, but I'm getting closer. So, things are falling into place as they are meant to. And so, it's good. It's good. Everywhere I go and everything I do, I rest in God. Everything I see and everything I feel, I rest in God. 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 Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Teach only love, for that is what you are, and rest in God. Just rest in God. Just rest in God. I'll rest in God. Just rest in God. I am not a body, I am free, and I rest in God. I am as God created me. I rest in God. 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 I am so glad that Spirit gave me that song. I really I really go to it a lot. And of course, as I've said many times, the main reason I write these songs is so that they will be in my system, in my mind, in my feeling tone, in the background of everything I do. So what's happening for me is interesting because, fear, whatever, all this stuff, la la. But the undertone, what keeps happening as I'm experiencing thoughts and fears and illusions and predicting, whatever into the future and all that stuff, the undercurrent is I rest in God. The undercurrent is I trust my brothers who are one with me. I trust my sisters who are one with me. I'm so grateful that Spirit gave me this gift of making songs. It's the lifeblood of my experience. So there's a soundtrack for all the years, which actually I'm going to play you something here in a minute from a song that I wrote many years ago, but it's so personal and pertinent right now. But first, I want to tell you what I want to share from the course. We're still in a review. I always, look at the workbook and share that with you. So, A Course in Miracles workbook daily lessons put us in a review, which is lesson 210. And this particular review is really, really, really interesting because it starts every review with I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And so, as Glen and I were working through A Course in Miracles over the years, we began to realize that in the workbook at least, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me, is repeated over and over and over, and maybe the most repeated lesson in the workbook. So it starts off with that, and then the review specifies lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Now, let me read this. I'm going to dig into the actual lesson more, but let me read what they say here in the review. Pain is my own idea. It is not a thought of God, but one I thought apart from him and from his will. His will is joy, and only joy for his beloved Son, and that I choose instead of what I made. Because, and then it ends with this, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And that's really cool. His will is joy and only joy for his beloved Son, and that I choose instead of what I made. This little I, this little me in this little body thing with all the thoughts and feelings, which I love dearly. I really enjoy, being in my body. I really do. But I make so much stuff up. I just make so much stuff up, and it causes me suffering. And then, and this has been the ultimate test, if you will. I don't really even like to use that word, but I mean, challenge, I guess, with Glen passing. It's like, what is, he's not here in the physical anymore. I'm here following through on our dream that we cultivated together, and who knows how it's going to turn out, but what is, and all of my, it shouldn't be this way, or why did this happen, and blah blah blah. So the why questions, that absolutely drives me crazy. If I, why, well, why is the world the way it is? Why is this happening? And we had this, discussion in Freedom Practice Sonica today, which really just went straight to my heart. And of course, I'm not ignoring for sure, and all of it, none of us are, what's happening in the world. It is quite a circus. But then when I look back, on my 68 years, I'm 68 years old this next week, actually, August 4th. When I look back, it's always been crazy. Always, always. The events, the wars, the craziness when I grew up in Alabama. I mean, really, and let me tell a little bit of my personal story here. I grew up in Alabama, and I was born in 1956, and came out of the closet as queer, like out loud and proud, in the 4th grade, and that was a huge traumatic experience for me. Bullying and la la la, you get it. And that that experience, that early, in my childhood and everything, really colored my perspective and my thoughts, and it created, so I, for a lot of my life, just went through this these thoughts that played out, people are out to get me, la la la, blah blah blah. But there was something deeper than that. There's always been something deeper than that. I've always kind of, even though for many, many years in my life, I've, paid attention to my thoughts and thought they were real and all that stuff, there's always been something deeper than that. And that is my love of God. And that started when I was younger than 4th grade. I remember being a toddler and having a realization of God presence in my life. And it's kind of corny, but this is how I remember it. A bird flew into we had my window open when I was a toddler this particular day, I remember, and a bird flew in and sat on the window, and it was like I was staring at that bird and the bird was staring at me, and somehow I had this download of a God experience, and that was the undertone. I always loved going to church. I always participated in the choir, like all these things, but and even deeper than that, there was this undertone of just knowing that God was there for me, and that's been there. So when I read this lesson, I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I have, and I still do. That doesn't mean that I don't have thoughts of pain, and that those thoughts of pain can cause me suffering. And then, of course, there's things in my body that cause me pain, of course, and you do too. Experience that, I'm sure. Like, if I haven't mentioned this before, I'm HIV positive. So, I've had a lot of stuff with that, and, continue to do so, and my body's aging, as everybody's body is aging. And so there's those pains, and then, of course, look at the world. The world is in pain. And how do we choose joy of God instead of pain? It's really fascinating, and it is a choice. no matter the circumstances. So this is the deepest emotional pain I think I've ever felt in my... I know it is. Glenn not being here in the body, although I do feel him strongly, but yet the pain of not experiencing this in the physical with him, it's so deep, and it very easy for me to slip into suffering about it. I'm going to sing you a song now that I wrote a while back. And it's kind of dramatic. So get prepared. It's called Somebody Save Me. But I wanted to share it because it came up so strongly for me to share with you. So I'm going to. Finding a reason to live this life when chaos runs wild. I can't make a living, just barely getting by. Where is my future? I cry. Somebody save me, save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Somebody save me, save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Well, there's gotta be a reason that I have survived all of the drama in my life. I've dealt with disease and poverty and strife, and then my husband, well, he up and died. And there's gotta be a way out of here, and I can find it if I try. I've got to look for the light. But the night is so cold, and my feelings are so frightening. Will I die, or will I rise? Somebody save me, save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Somebody save me, oh, save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Well, I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death. I'm walking through. Are you with me? Yeah. Save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Somebody save me, save my soul. Somebody save me, my soul. Somebody save me. I am my Savior. I am my Savior. And that reminded me of lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. So there's a choice. Pain is a wrong perspective. When it is experienced in any form, it is a proof of self-deception. It is not a fact at all. There is no form it takes that will not disappear if seen aright. Now, that's quite a statement. So that's why I wanted to sing that song. So there have been times in my life, and very recently, since March, where I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death. I can't see anything. Are you with me, God? Are you there? Who is there? What's with me? Who's with me? This is all my own emotional pain. I know you guys have been with me all the way through. In fact, if it hadn't been, really, I seriously believe that if it hadn't been for Awakening Together, morning meditations, being able to come into the sanctuary every day, and be with like-minded people, seriously, I think I would be in a hospital right now. The impact of Glen's passing was that strong for me. It was the valley of the shadow of death. And, but I'm just talking about my own suffering. And this is what got me right here in this lesson. There is no form it takes that will not disappear if seen aright. For pain proclaims God cruel, which is what we were talking about today in Freedom Sangha, Freedom Practice Sangha, and so actually, Kate, I'm dedicating that song to you because you brought up such a great, heart-wrenching moment for me. How can all this be happening? That belief, that focus on why is this happening? Why is this happening? Proclaims God cruel, but that's not the truth. There is no form that it takes that will not disappear if seen aright. For pain proclaims God cruel. How could it be real in any form? It witnesses to God the Father's hatred of his Son, the sinfulness he sees in him, and his insane desire for revenge and death. Now that's a teaching that some people believe in. The inherent sinfulness of humanity and God's hatred of sin, and so we must be punished and blah 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 and all this, and you just see it playing out so strongly. Can such projections be attested to? Can they be anything but wholly false? Pain is but witness to the Son's mistakes in what he thinks he is. Our very beingness is love, is light. It is a dream of fierce retaliation for a crime that could not be committed, for attack on what is wholly unassailable. It is a nightmare of abandonment by an eternal love which could not leave the Son whom it created out of love. Pain is a sign illusions reign in place of truth. It demonstrates God is denied, confused with fear, perceived as mad, as seen as a traitor to himself. If God is real, there is no pain. If pain is real, there is no God. Wow. Here's a contemplation for you. For vengeance is not part of love, and fear, denying love and using pain to prove that God is dead, has shown that death is victor over life. The body is the Son of God, corruptible in death, as mortal as the Father he has slain. She's so dramatic, right? Here we go. Here, it's going to brighten up from here on. Paragraph 4. Peace to such foolishness. The time has come to laugh at such insane ideas, which is where I'm at. It's just where I'm at. Wow. So I'm in this situation. Okay. Woohoo. Ha ha. La la. Oh wow. Let things be exactly as they are. Wow. The time has come to laugh at such insane ideas. It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you. Yes, your body can be harmed. Yes, my body can be harmed. Glen's example of the pain that he was going through the last week, and that he knew the truth about his situation. It was so amazing. The last conversation we had, sitting on the couch when he was in pain, and me just holding him and loving him, and him knowing the truth about himself. Him knowing that he was not this body, this pain that he was experiencing. And I think that's why he so easily made the transition without a lot of struggle and without, being on life support and doing, all kinds of things that I guess could have happened. He was so certain of who he truly was, who he truly is. And that was such an amazing thing for me to witness and be a part of. The world may seem to cause you pain, and yet the world, as causeless, has no power to cause. As an illusion, it is what you wish. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. Wow. What if I just take this opportunity for the next 20 years or however long I'm going to be here to just live into my holiness? To just walk in the world knowing that I am the holy expression of God. W-H-O-L-E, whole. Holiness, whole. I am whole and complete and a perfect expression of the love and light of God. How about if I just live into that? Let's just take a moment. I reaffirm my commitment to walking through this world knowing that I am the holy child of God. I am whole and complete. And my very presence, as I liberate myself from my fears, my very presence affects others and their liberation. I commit to live this way. So it is. And the last paragraph, and so again we make the only choice that can ever be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or pain and joy, or hell and heaven. Let our gratitude unto our teacher fill our hearts as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. Yeah. The light of heaven for the darkness of the world. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. No more do I. No more do I was mistaken. I did not realize the source from which I came. My holiness remains. My holiness remains. All the mistakes I made are simply illusions, and I let them go today and receive God's word. I trust in God's word. Love which created me is what I am. I seek no more today. Love has prevailed. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me not. God has condemned me no more